guys, what's up? I'm Bronwyn Mefford and I'm a senior here at San Diego Christian College, and I'm going to be one of the hosts for Coffee with Corsini, the new podcast that we're starting. So I'm excited. It's going to be a fun time.
It's time for Coffee with Corsini.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Coffee with Corsini. This is going to be a really fun way to just get to know our president, as well as kind of keep you guys updated with things going on campus. And we might have a few special guests here and there. It's gonna be a fun time. How are you doing, Dr. Corsini?
I am awesome because I have coffee and I love coffee, so I'm all about this.
Okay, well, I'm super excited to start this talk show with you, or podcast, or whatever you want to call it. If you guys are listening and you have questions for Dr. Corsini, if you follow us on Instagram at San Diego Christian College, we're going to post like a little place where you can ask questions, and you can send in your questions every week and you might be featured, and Dr. Corsini might just ask your question or answer your question if you're lucky.
I might ask you a question too. You never know.
That's true. Okay, well, this first episode is going to be kind of a cool way to get to know Dr. Corsini, and obviously, we just started the new school year. We're about 5 weeks in, and we kind of wanted to talk to you about what your college experience was like in maybe your freshman year. So
I am actually fortunate because I had 2 freshman years.
Whoa, what?
I love college so much. I was on the 5-year plan. So
What?
I went to Georgia Tech
Okay.
for a little over a year. So I was a freshman there, and then God revealed to me that was not his plan for my life, and so I transferred. And then had a started out again at the University of Georgia.
Because your credits didn't transfer?
Oh, no, they all transferred, but it was like a whole new experience. So it was like, I transferred as a sophomore, but it was like a freshman experience.
New freshman, because you're starting over. Oh,
but I love college so much, I just never stopped, right? I just
I know.
kept getting another degree, and another degree. Yeah, I had a blast.
And here you are, working out of college. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you, ask a few questions, and, get to know little stories from your freshman year. So I guess you answered our first question, which was where you went. What made you choose to go there, and why did you transfer out of the other place?
Yeah, that's a good question. So my dad was an engineer. I grew up playing with Legos. I loved building stuff. And so when I was in high school, I was like, well, I'm going to be an engineer. My dad was an engineer. I want to be an engineer. I want to build stuff. And so I didn't even visit colleges. Like when I was a junior and senior, I didn't go visit colleges. I didn't do tours. It was like, well, I'm just going to go to Georgia Tech, because at that point we lived in Atlanta. That's a good engineering school.
Had you been to Georgia
No,
Tech
I'd never
before?
been on their campus before.
Oh,
I'd never even been to the campus. So I remember first week of classes, I didn't know where my classes were. I didn't know where to park. I didn't know what it was going to be like. And let's just say it wasn't a good fit. It was a downtown campus, downtown Atlanta. And so that first year it wasn't fun, and it wasn't a good fit. I moved on campus, and it was just like this, it was one of those things where it's like, I wish I'd visited the campus. I wish I'd checked out some other schools. And after about a year and a half, I came to a couple of conclusions. One is that I really believed I wanted to go into full-time ministry, and I didn't know how being an engineer was going to help with that. Mm-hmm. And I knew that school was just not a good fit for me. And so I talked to a pastor, and he was like, well, if you want to go into full-time ministry, get a solid degree that you can use regardless of what you do. And I was like, I should get a degree in business. I think business will help me regardless of what I do.
Yes,
Georgia Tech did not have a business program. And so I transferred to the arch rival. I went to the University of Georgia.
Wow,
right? So
a
went across.
traitor.
Yeah, no kidding. But it was great. It was a great transition, a great school. And when I got there, it was like, this is it. This is the fit. This is where I belong. Mm-hmm. It was great. It was really great experience.
Cool. That's really cool. That's good to hear, because I feel like a lot of people probably experience the same thing. I have the same story. I went to college before this, and then I transferred out of it. It felt like it wasn't a good fit, and then here I am at SEC, loving my life, doing a podcast with the president.
There you go, right? You never know where it's going to lead, right?
No, you never do. But that's really cool. Okay. All right, so our next question is going to be, what is your best story from your college years? Do you have, a best one that you, tops all others, or something crazy that you did?
Yeah, so I probably have a couple that I can't share, but I've got a couple I probably can share.
Okay.
So one was when I was at Georgia Tech, freshman year, the Rolling Stones were in concert and on tour. Have you ever heard of the Rolling Stones?
I know who the Rolling Stones are.
Well, when I was a freshman in college, the Rolling Stones were really old, and that was a long time ago. And tickets were crazy expensive. It was going to be in the stadium. but my dorm where I lived was right next to the stadium. And so we all went to the roof, put out lawn chairs, and watched the Rolling Stones in concert from the roof, looking down into the stadium. And that was phenomenal. Just absolutely amazing.
Okay, that's actually really, really cool.
And then when I went to Georgia my freshman year, I got to watch, and at the time it was like, well, this is really cool, but I didn't realize until later, but I got to watch Brett Favre play as a freshman quarterback.
Whoa.
They came and played Georgia. He went to, I think it was Southern Miss, and everyone's like, oh, this is great, quarterback's going to come and play. The weird thing is, I'm the same age as Brett Favre, right? So we were both there about the same time and got to watch him play. And then afterwards, I was like, this guy's amazing, right? So
that's actually
that was
really
pretty cool too.
Yeah, I can relate to that story. You know, last year I watched the fireworks, the Santee fireworks on the 4th of July on the roof of this building.
You know, someday you're going to be 60 and look back and say, Santee fireworks were amazing.
If I ever do a podcast and someone asks me what's the greatest story from your college year, I'm going to be like, oh, when I watched the fireworks.
The Santee fireworks, man. They were amazing.
Yeah. If you ever get a chance to go see them, I would go see them on the 4th of July. Okay, so that was your best story.
Yes.
But do you have like a flop or a fail that happened during your college years, like worst fail in college?
Yeah, absolutely. I have a bunch of those. So I have to choose though, right? I can only do one. I can't do a ton of those.
If you have a couple, you know, we can be real.
Okay, so for reals, there was econ. It was macroeconomics. It was a huge class. I think we had 300-400 students in the class. I went the first time. The second time, I was like, I do not want to do this. And I only went, I think, 2 or 3 times the whole semester. I was just so over it and so done. I passed it, but barely. I barely passed it. But I can remember just going to class for the final. I went for the midterm and the final just enough to get by, and just petrified. Because I hadn't gone to class, I hadn't learned anything, and sometimes you just got to fake it till you make it. Yeah. And I did in that class. I got like a C-. So
you made a C and you didn't show up like at all?
Yeah.
I feel like that's pretty hard to do, to be honest with you.
I survived. That's all I got to say is I survived. Okay. I got through.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's cool. Also, sadly, I feel like a lot of people can relate. I know I can relate. It was just a class.
I didn't like the professor. I didn't connect. There was a ton of people there, and it was like, this is just a waste of my time.
That's tough.
I think that's one of the things I like education, because I don't think education should be a waste of your time. Like, you should know your students, you should know your stuff, you should make it interesting. And when you have a professor that just doesn't care and they're dialing it in, it's like, this is a waste of my time.
I had to take a computer technology class, and like, I mean, people, we are the 21st century. Like, I know how to work my computer, and it was all on like literally just maneuvering through your laptop, and I was like, why am I in this class? And so, I mean, it was really easy, and the teacher was so boring, and it was not fun. So I can relate to that.
Now, the sad thing is, that was macroeconomics. I took microeconomics, same classroom, 300-400 people. And I can actually today remember that professor because he made it really interesting. I remember he compared economics to baseball. He would use baseball analogies and stuff, and I remember going to class thinking, this is really interesting. Like, I like this.
Oh, yeah. The professor makes or breaks the class.
Huge
It really does. Okay, so we obviously got a big new freshman class this year. Shout out to the freshmen.
Huge class.
Yeah, they're awesome. I really like all of them.
So get this. I actually looked last night. Freshman class is 240% bigger than the junior class this year. Like almost 2.5 times bigger than the junior class.
They are. I see them on campus like taking over, and I'm like.
But juniors are quality. So you know, I mean, quality over quantity. I don't know. Freshmen are pretty awesome this year.
Oh man. Okay, wait. So there's a bunch of new freshmen. And obviously, well, hopefully, unless they're like you, they haven't experienced freshman year of college ever before. So, since you transferred in the middle of yours or decided that it wasn't for you, the place that you were at, what is the best freshman year advice you could give someone?
Say hello to everyone and make friends. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter if you are an introvert or an extrovert. Get outside of yourself and get to know as many people as possible. Life is about relationships, right? And the more people you can get to know and be friends with, the better the rest of your life will be. And if you're lousy at it, this is a time that you get to practice.
Oh, yeah.
You totally can practice. So make friends, whether it's other students, whether it's faculty, whether it's staff, whether it's me. Greet people. Well, and that's all I'm saying is you don't have to, what their favorite color is or what kind of pizza they like. Just Greet people. Hey, how are you doing? And start learning names. It's the best thing you can do.
No, I agree. I am a senior this year, so I can relate to that. I led a small group at the church that I work at, and a bunch of them are freshmen in college this year, and that was like my number one thing that I told them was like, just go talk to everyone that you sit by, talk to your professors. Like, that's how I met some of my best friends, was just because like I joked around in class with them, and now they've become my best friends. And so yeah, I totally agree with that. And it's also a really cool place because you get to start over. Like, high school doesn't matter here. So
it's a clean slate, right? It's like a redo, right? You get to start from scratch.
And so, okay, that was a really good piece of advice. Okay, now this is a little bit, we're kind of shifting the topic here, but what was your favorite go-to food while you were in college?
Oh man, so there are two places, and the first one was a place called Guthrie's. So at the University of Georgia, when I think about college, I think of going to the University of Georgia. There was a place called Guthrie's, which was chicken fingers, fries, and a piece of bread, right? And so it's like Cane's here.
Yeah, I was about to say.
It's like the original, before there were Cane's, before there was Zaxby's, before there was any of that, and there were only two. There was a Guthrie's in Athens, Georgia. There was one in Auburn, Alabama. And apparently the guy who started it, there were a couple of guys, two guys, and one of them had a falling out, and so one of the guys started Zaxby's. And that's where Zaxby's started years later.
Zaxby's is literally my favorite.
And then Cane's shows up, and so I had it yesterday. I think I had Cane's. Actually, I think I had Cane's twice this week.
Okay, already. here's a real question. Do you think Guthrie's, is that what?
It was called Guthrie's.
Okay,
yeah.
Do you think it's better than Cane's, or do you think Cane's is better?
Well, in college, you're with your friends, you have an amazing time. So it's it's a Tuesday afternoon. It's like we're going to Guthrie's, right?
True.
And so you get 20 people to go. I can't do that now. I can grab 2 or 3 people and be like, "Hey, skip class. We're going to." I think
you could probably grab a lot of students and say,
I would love to have Cane's on campus. How amazing would that be? Maybe we got a Cane's truck, or maybe a food truck with just Cane's.
That would be amazing.
But the other place in college was a place called China Boat. It was a Chinese food restaurant that had used to be a seafood restaurant.
Interesting.
And so when you walked up to it, it had a boat and it had the fishing nets, right? So it looked just like a seafood restaurant, right?
Yeah.
With life preservers out in front, and it had gone out of business, and they turned it into a Chinese food place. And so we called it China Boat. And you always got, I think it was like for $3.50, you got a ton of food. So, and I was so poor in college, I had no money. So for $3.50, I could eat pretty much for a day and a half.
Oh, that's so nice.
And it would be so sick. And we'd have what we called that China Boat feeling, because like 6 hours, 9 hours later, it's like, I got that China Boat feeling. But you knew you were going to eat it tomorrow morning because there were leftovers in the fridge.
Yeah, 100%.
And so, I lived off that too.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like Chinese food is a staple for college food. There's a place, this is free marketing, free advertising, but Lucky Chinese, that's where we always go, because they load you up with food. And sorry, Panda Express, but
volume is important, right?
They give you so much food, and it's cheaper than Panda Express. And Panda Express, you get 4 pieces of chicken. So if you guys are looking for a good Chinese place to go eat, Lucky Chinese is the place.
And if I'm perfectly honest, college was really all about food and music and sports.
Yeah.
And girls. But that's just being way too honest, right? So that's maybe for another podcast.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to get into that.
I love college. I never left, right? I'm still here. I love college.
Okay, well, that is all the freshman year questions that I have for you. We also are going to incorporate in this podcast a little weekly update for everyone at school. And so, Dr. Corsini, what's going on our campus? What do we have coming up?
Friday, going to Julian, right? Free pie.
Saturday, we're going to Julian.
We're doing it Saturday too? Friday and Saturday? I'm kidding. All right, so it's Saturday?
Yeah,
Saturday
it's
we're
Saturday.
going to Julian? Saturday, we're going to Julian. Next week is 24 hours of prayer. Really excited about that. We just came out of the prayer conference, which was huge. I think that's important for our school. If you can participate in 24 hours of prayer next week, that'll be a great thing.
Yeah.
We're doing a bonfire, I think,
next
week
Friday night
as well.
at the beach. I believe it's going to be at La Jolla Shores, but it'll be fine. We'll have some s'mores, music. Hopefully it'll be a pretty night, so maybe the sunset will be fire. We'll probably surf before.
Absolutely.
So DM San Diego Christian College if you guys want to surf, and I run it, so I can text you back and we can figure out a time if you guys want to go surf.
So good stuff coming, right? We got some good stuff coming up this next week that'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Julian's always a good time. Bonfire's always a good time. Okay, so I think we're going to spend the last little bit of this podcast just kind of doing some rapid fire questions. So
bring it.
First thing that comes to your mind, answer off the top of your head, okay?
Yikes. Okay.
Are you ready? Here we go. Rapid fire starting now. What's the last book you've ever read?
Out of the Silent Planet by C.S. Lewis. Just finished it.
Oh, C.S. Lewis, that's a good one. Okay, what's the first thing you thought of this morning?
My little boy, 15-year-old Joshua.
Oh, okay, that's sentimental. Okay, what's the most important thing on your to-do list?
Today?
Yeah, today.
I'm getting ready for the board meeting. It's coming up in a couple weeks. So
the big dogs.
They're my bosses, right? So it's like, I gotta be ready for that.
Okay, what's your In-N-Out order?
Double, extra cheese, extra toast, fries, light lemonade, no ice.
Extra cheese.
Just one extra slice. I like a little extra cheese on my double.
I never thought to do that. I'm lactose intolerant, but that's
grilled onion. Did I say grilled onion? Grilled onion, extra toast.
Okay, grilled onion is the way to go. That's how I always do it.
I do a grilled whole onion sometimes, but you got to be in the mood.
A whole one.
Sometimes, yeah, but it depends if I'm going to interact with other people because they're strong.
You heard it here first. Dr. Corsini is picky with his In-N-Out order.
Precise.
Okay, what's the best part of being a college president?
The students. Absolutely. Love the students. Absolutely.
That's
no doubt.
Good. Okay, and what's your favorite board game?
It's a game called Rummy Cube. Does that count as a board game? There's like pieces and that sort of thing?
I think so. Does it have a board?
Yeah, you use a table. There's a table involved.
No, try again.
Pegs and Crowns. What's it called? Pegs and Crowns, I think is what it's called. And that does have a board. Yes.
I don't know what that is, but maybe that can be another.
My mom and dad love it. My grandparents played it. Maybe it's an Italian game. I don't know.
Oh, maybe. Okay. What's the best flavor of ice cream?
Anything not banana.
Oh, yeah. I would have to agree. Is banana ice cream like a popular thing?
I not with me. It's not. I like anything with like the brittle, like a turtle or
okay.
That sort of.
Okay, wait. You said you're Italian, so do you like gelato more?
Love gelato.
Okay.
Absolutely.
What's your favorite flavor of gelato?
Typically creme de leche.
Ooh. Is there a good gelato place around here?
Not that I found.
Well, we're gonna.
But when you're picky with gelato, it's like
Yeah, I guess that's
you gotta
true.
hit a certain
That's
standard.
true. Okay, last one. What's your favorite song?
Great is Thy Faithfulness.
Oh wow.
Old time.
An oldie. That's a good one.
It really
though.
is though. Yeah.
It always hits. Okay, well, that is all I have for you today.
Bronwyn, this was amazing. I love this. This was so great.
Yeah, this is our first episode of Coffee with Corsini. It was epic, actually.
And I'm out of coffee, so the timing was perfect.
Oh, perfect. You're going to have to go get some at our new coffee shop downstairs.
Maybe an Americano.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, well, thank you for doing this with me, Dr. Corsini. I can't wait for next week. It's been a fun time.
Been outstanding. I'll see you next week.
Yes, sir. See you next week. Adios.
Sayonara.